Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and the woke world out there has awakened a new enemy, and that's the one and only Sylvester Stallone. Wait until you see what Sly had to say about the latest woke insanity. Superstar Sylvester Stallone's latest movie is making waves, but for reasons that don't have much to do about the film itself. It's being widely reported that Stallone is barring any, in his words, woke crap from the movie set. He's reported having told his crew, quote, "I won't have a bunch of granola moms and their soy boy husbands telling me what I can and can't do on my set with my crew. The wokeness can get lost. We don't need it." Now, one of the reasons why this is getting so much publicity is that Stallone's anti-woke sentiments were expressed in his latest character in the TV series Tulsa King.
What's going on with this country in general nowadays? Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the fuck is with the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, fang, cool. You know what my pronoun is? Guess. Time's up. Okay. It, as in it, can't take this shit anymore.
That was great. But as you can imagine, Sylvester Stallone is hardly alone. In fact, he appears to be taking his own place in a larger trend of anti-woke films over the last couple of years, most successfully represented by the astonishing Top Gun sequel. As you know, these are films that celebrate rather than denigrate the timeless values of heroism, nationalism, sacrifice, fidelity, honor, all extending from the bedrock of faith, family, and freedom. And there's something in particular about Stallone and his most iconic character, the one and only Rocky Balboa, which stands far and above all others in championing conservative values. If you don't know Rocky 1, first film, is by far my absolute favorite movie. And in many respects, if you think it through, Rocky is the ultimate populist symbol. The movie Rocky works because it pits a young boxer off the streets of Philadelphia against the glitz and glamour of Apollo Creed, who represents the Hollywood-infested professional elite. Rocky is a man of the people. Everyone on the street knows Rocky, right? Apollo Creed is the opposite. Everyone in the world knows Apollo Creed, but we get no sense whatsoever of any localized loyalties, any sense of Creed belonging somewhere. He's the perfect icon of globalism that knows the price of everything but the value of nothing. Rocky is a man of the people, while Apollo Creed is a symbol of corporatism and elitism. And so Rocky's become an icon, perhaps the icon, of the champion underdog beating the elite establishment. The whole theme of Rocky is one of overcoming the odds, overcoming the obstacles that the aristocratic system puts in our way. There's no way that a guy outside of the world of professional boxing could come in and even remotely have a chance of taking out the multi-million-dollar champion. That just doesn't happen. Well, Rocky's a movie that gives us permission to dream that it most certainly does. These values aren't an accident. Wait until you hear what Stallone had to say about what inspired him to create the character Rocky. It's going to absolutely make your day. But first, gang, something else that'll make your day. Have you ever been wanting to get your concealed carry permit, but have found the barriers and the requirements too burdensome? While we all know that the constitutional carry movement is sweeping the nation, unfortunately, millions of Americans, even some of us courageous patriots, here at Turley Talks, we're still stuck in blue or weak red states restricting your constitutional right to bear arms. But there's an amazing solution to that. Countrywide concealed is probably the quickest way for you to carry legally in the majority of states in the country. That's right. You know, you won't just be able to carry in your state, but in 84% of the whole of the US of A. It's as quick as watching a video and taking a quiz. And thanks to Countrywide Concealed, your family is that much safer from a myriad of threats no matter where you go. Getting a concealed carry license has literally never been easier. Click on that link below and join the millions of patriots who've taken back their rights and started carrying legally with Countrywide Concealed today. If you don't know, Sylvester Stallone is the real deal, and he's always been. Check out this interview from 1977 on what inspired him to create the Rocky character.
You've written several scripts before, but was there any special reason for you to write this one, to write Rocky?
Well, I felt at the time that cinema, at least the movies I had been seeing, were at an all-time low. Everything was anti-society, anti-Christ, anti-government, anti-everything, and there was no one to root for. And I also feel that films are very cyclic, so I wanted to get back into the cycle of the films of the 40s and the 50s, where people say, hey, gee, I missed the good old films, yet Hollywood hasn't taken heed and hasn't made any good old-fashioned type films where morality was at the forefront. So I took the opportunity to write this particular film, of course, being somewhat selfish because I had myself in mind for it. But that was the main motivation.
So as you can see, this is a fellow who from the very beginning has been animated by love of faith, family, and freedom. His career began really as a celebration of the moral and heroic traditions that have undergirded our nation for the last few centuries. And what's so interesting here is he saw how those traditions were being denigrated and repudiated by Hollywood. And he recognized that that denigration was alienating tens of thousands of people who love faith, family, and freedom, and who were longing for a movie celebrating those timeless values. And here we are more than 30 years later, and he still remains fixated on those very values.
And if you really go back to the first Rocky, people don't realize the first shot is this shot of Christ, and it comes down over the beams of the church. It says resurrection, then it goes to Rocky being pummeled. And what I was trying to say is this man has been chosen for a journey. He's at the lowest strata of society, and we're watching him eventually find Christian ideals, that he finds love, he starts to bring people together, all these what I would call society's outcasts, and they all come together for one unified family spirit, and that's how they triumph. Alone, they're not very, very strong. Together, they're invincible.
Well, how about this last one? I mean, Rocky
well, the last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the last one exactly is now, after he has all this family core values, his wife has died. So now the rug has been pulled out from under him. He's at his lowest depths. He goes, how can this be? And it's about pulling yourself up from the doldrums of society and of depression and clawing your way back up, finding the light, finding the spirit, moving on. He surrounds himself with old friends, even ex-fighters that read scripture, and then when he goes into the ring, he goes in with a sense of kind of like he's doing God's work. He really is on a mission.
Yeah, and to that we can add the fact that the movie Rocky, the original film, actually took place during Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was the day Rocky took Adrian out on a date for the first time. If you remember the ice skating rink scene, which is just a wonderful scene. But the whole franchise begins in gratitude, in a sense of blessedness. And it's from that overall frame of Thanksgiving that the whole franchise blossoms. You know, I have to say, I'm so encouraged by people like Sylvester Stallone. He really is a national icon, and as it turns out, a stalwart defender of all that is good as well. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on how woke Bud Light is going bankrupt as Anheuser Busch gets hit with a lawsuit. You're not going to want to miss this. So make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.